Who are the best forwards in FPL? Once again, I've gone through all of the stats so that you don't have to. Starting off the video then, we have to look, of course, at goals scored for these players. Haaland leads the way with 8 goals in total from 7.8 expected goals. Isak is actually in second place, scoring 6 from 5.4 XG. We've got Watkins, Ferguson, Edouard and Wilson all on 4 goals. Most of these players are, to be fair, slightly outperforming their XG, but these are the top scorers in the league out of the forwards. And then we've got a number of players on 3 goals. So Solanke, Lyle Foster of Burnley, Darwin Núñez, Morris, Alvarez and Awoniyi all sitting on 3. Looking then at assists, Ollie Watkins is leading the way on 7. One thing I would say just around assists as a whole, the expected assist data by all of the top assisters in the league is being massively outperformed. Ollie Watkins has got 7 assists from 0.8 expected assists, which is just crazy in my mind. It suggests either there's something wrong with the data or genuinely all of these assisters are just massively overperforming. You know, they're not really creating that many chances, but getting lots of assists, basically. Alvarez sits on 5. I think probably of all of these strikers, as you can see with the expected assists, he's probably the most creative of all of them. I think, obviously, he's formed a really nice partnership with Erling Haaland, so we've seen that shown in the assists that he's gotten. Mateta, Darwin Núñez, both on 3, and we've got 4 players on 2 assists, Nketiah, Wissa, Foster, and Awoniyi. So how does this stack up then in terms of players' expected goal involvement? I like to look at these stats because this basically shows how involved players are in both goals and assists throughout all the games they've played. So no surprise, Erling Haaland tops the list, 8.27 expected goal involvement across the season so far, 1.05 expected returns per 90. So that basically suggests every game he's played, he's been expected to get an attacking return in. It's the same with Isak as well. Less XGI because he's basically played less minutes. 5.59 XGI with an expected returns per 90. Actually slightly higher than Haaland, 1.07. I mean, Isak would be a fantastic option, wouldn't he? But you just don't know who out of him and Wilson are going to play. Nicholas Jackson, who obviously trolled a number of FPL managers this season, getting his suspension and not scoring when everyone brought him in. 4.59 expected goal involvement, 0.75 expected returns per 90. I mean, we saw how many chances he was getting while we all had him in our teams. He just wasn't putting them away, and I think that's shown in the fact that he didn't appear in the top scorers list, but he does in top expected goal involvement. Watkins 4.04, Alvarez 3.95, Morris, João Pedro, those 3 are really close. Callum Wilson 3.7, and Darwin Núñez sitting on 3.61. Okay, and then similar to what I did with the midfielders, really, I think in FPL, penalty taking is a really strong thing to consider when picking your players, basically. So these are all the forwards that are down to take penalties in the league at the moment. The midfielders video was absolutely stacked, and it actually looks like there are far more midfield penalty takers than there are forward spots. For Bournemouth, we've got Dominic Solanke. Brighton, we've got João Pedro. Burnley, Jay Rodriguez takes them. When he's on the pitch, I'm not sure how nailed he actually is for Burnley anymore. Calvert-Lewin could be quite interesting. I think he is the designated penalty taker for Everton and seems to be back in the team now and actually scoring some goals. Morris, as we all know, is the penalty taker for Luton. Haaland takes them for Man City. Wilson takes them for Newcastle when he's on the pitch. He takes them above and beyond Isak, but Isak will take them when Wilson is not on the pitch. So I think I've included both of those there purely because, you know, there is a chance that Wilson's not going to play some games and Isak gets a penalty. Of course, this season we've seen all these VAR, you know, just getting it wrong, basically. You know, handballs seem to be quite lenient this season. You know, basically, if you're 3 yards away from the ball and block a shot and it happens to hit your arm unintentionally, get given a penalty for it. So I think penalties are really strong in FPL. It means a player can score against any opposition in pretty much any game with how, you know, VAR and these referees are operating this season. So yeah, these are the guys that take the pens. Finally then, of course, it's the total points. Now, Watkins leads the way in terms of strikers so far this season for total points. He's got 59, which is 4 more than second place Erling Haaland. Obviously, you can see the prices of each of the players there as well. Alvarez sits on 48, Isak on 43. This video is actually showing how good of an asset Isak looks to be. It's just the question is, of course, is he going to start every game? I'm not sure you can guarantee that he will, but regardless of whether he is or not, he's still putting up really, really good numbers. Morris, 37 for Luton. Edouard, 36 for Crystal Palace. Wissa on 34 for Brentford. Awoniyi and Darwin Núñez all on 33. Alright, and that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please, of course, leave a like rating. I also want to know in the comments if there are any players you've got your eye on that didn't make it into any of these slides, into any of these stats. And as usual, I'm not actually going to make any recommendations coming from this video. I spoke about a few of the players there in a bit more detail. Ultimately, the intention of this series is to bring you all the stats that you need to make your own decisions about the players that you pick. So if you enjoyed that format, please leave me a like rating on the video. And of course, subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just there to catch me in some more content coming up.